It is the middle of the night, and you are wide awake. Not by choice. There is a pain deep in a back tooth, and it has a heartbeat of its own. It throbs in time with your pulse, and it has done this for 3 days. There is no pill in a drawer, no number to call, no bright little office with a chair that leans back. It is the year 1200, and there is no such thing as a dentist. This is one of the oldest pains there is, older than cities, older than writing. Look inside almost any ancient skull and you will find it. Worn teeth, cracked teeth, holes. For most of human history, nearly everyone, sooner or later, felt exactly what you feel now. And it only grew worse with time. As sugar spread through the world, teeth rotted faster than ever. Even a Queen of England, Elizabeth I, was said to have teeth gone black from sweets. So the question is not whether your tooth will hurt, it is what on earth you are going to do about it. To fix a thing, you first have to believe you know what it is. And for thousands of years, people thought they did. They believed a worm lived inside your tooth. A tiny worm, burrowing through the bone, gnawing in the dark. The pain you felt was the worm, feeding. We even know when someone first wrote it down. On a clay tablet from ancient Babylon, there is a small poem called The Legend of the Worm. And the idea did not stay in Babylon. You find the toothworm in Egypt, in China, in India, all the way into the Europe of your sleepless night. If a worm is eating your tooth, the cure is obvious. You drive the worm out. So a healer throws the seeds of a plant called henbane onto hot coals and has you lean over the smoke with your mouth open. And then something astonishing happens. As the seeds heat and burst, they throw out thin, pale, wriggling threads, tiny white shapes falling from the smoke. The worms. There they are. Except they were not worms. They were only the seeds splitting open. But for centuries, that was all the proof anyone needed. Of course, you would try gentler things first. You might press a clove or a drop of clove oil against the tooth. And here is the strange part. That one actually works. Clove oil is mildly numbing, and your dentist today still keeps a version of it in the building. But the old books are full of other ideas, and most are not so wise. The Roman writer Pliny suggested you catch a frog by moonlight and ask it to take the pain away, or touch the tooth with a splinter from a tree struck by lightning, or with the tooth of a dead man. When the body fails, people turn to heaven. And toothache had its own saint. Her name was Apollonia. She was an old woman in ancient Alexandria, killed for her faith. Before she died, her teeth were beaten and broken out of her head, one by one. And so she became the saint you pray to when your mouth is on fire. Across Europe, in the dark, people whispered her name and waited for mercy. But mercy does not always come. The clove fades, the prayers go quiet, and the worm, you are sure, keeps eating. There is only one cure left. The tooth has to come out. There is no dentist, but there is a man who does this. You find him at the market or the traveling fair in a wide hat with a tray of yellowed teeth he has already pulled. He is a tooth drawer, part healer, part showman, sometimes part fraud. Some worked with a drummer beside them, loud music, so the crowd could not hear what you were about to sound like. And not all of them even pulled a real tooth. A clever one might palm a bloody tooth he was hiding, wave it at the crowd, and collect his coins before you understood what had, or had not, just happened. And then there are the tools. For hundreds of years, the favorite was an iron instrument called the pelican, named for the curved beak that gripped the tooth. You hooked it on and you levered, prying the tooth sideways out of the jaw. Later came the tooth key, turned like a key in a lock, twisting until the tooth broke free of the bone. In a steady hand, these worked. In a careless one, they shattered teeth and broke jaws. Now picture the moment itself. You are held down. There is nothing to dull the pain. No injection, no gas, nothing. Someone holds your head. The iron goes in and it pulls. Whatever sound you make it fully awake, feeling all of it. This was extraction for almost all of human history, not as a nightmare, as an ordinary afternoon. And here is the part we forget. A bad tooth was not only agony, it could kill you. An infection in the mouth can spread into the jaw, the blood, the brain. For centuries, rotten teeth were quietly counted among the leading causes of death. A toothache could be the first step toward a grave. So what changed? How did we get from the worm and the pelican to the quiet little office you know? It begins with one Frenchman named Pierre Fauchard. In the year 1728, he published a book that gathered everything dentistry knew and threw out what was false. There is no worm, he said. Decay comes from the tooth itself. He described fillings, cleaning, even early false teeth, and people began to call him the father of modern dentistry. But one horror still remained. it still hurt, beyond anything. That last wall fell in the 1840s, when doctors found that certain gases could send a person into a painless sleep. Laughing gas, then ether. For the first time in the whole story, a tooth could come out and you would feel nothing at all. Thousands of years of people biting down on leather, and then, almost overnight, sleep. Peace. So the next time a dull ache starts in the back of your mouth and you reach half asleep for your phone to book an appointment, stop for just a second. For almost everyone who ever lived, that small ache was the beginning of something to be feared. Smoke and prayers, iron and a stranger's grip. The worm was never real, but the pain always was. And the strangest thing is not that they believed in a worm. It is that for thousands of years, in the dark, with nothing else to hold onto, a small story about a worm was the only comfort anyone could give you.